Let's take Bill from California. Let's
I
talk
was
about.
looking. My eyes
I
were
was
drawn
like,
to that
I
as
know
well.
you want to talk about that one too, so let's do it.
Bill, welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I'm fine, and good afternoon, guys. And I just wanted to congratulate Ben from going from student Dr. Ben to just Dr. Ben. Good job. That's
Oh, thanks. Yeah, you all can probably tell that I have
achievement.
not. I don't sleep anymore, and chat is loving it right now.
I also wanted to thank you real briefly just for that explanation you did on the difference between I can't remember what it was so long ago, but basically you drew a distinction between instincts and actually knowing things because you have experience and stuff like that. I thought that was a very, very well explained. And then
I'm
my
glad that
point, of
helped
course,
you.
is I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying,
Oh,
I'm glad
yeah.
that helped you. I'm glad you liked that.
No, that was neat. I thought you did you elucidated that point very well. Of course, what I'm talking about is I don't know if you guys are familiar with this interesting article. There's a journal it's an online journal called the Journal of Controversial Ideas, which was started by the ethicist Peter Singer. And I'm a little nervous, and I apologize for that.
No, it's fine.
This is called the Afterlife Dilemma, and the reason I really got into it is because I'm not an academic. I don't write papers. I'm not affiliated with college. But this gentleman that wrote this is, and he came up with an argument that I came up with this years ago too, but I'm not in a position to articulate these things interestingly. But basically, the afterlife dilemma is this: if you got Christians who are against abortion, okay, then you're faced with a dilemma, and the dilemma is this: there exists a morally perfect, all-knowing, and all-powerful God who created the universe. Restricting abortions ought to be the top social political priority, and embryos and fetuses that die either go to hell for eternity or they go to heaven for eternity. And the gentleman, it's a long argument; it's 20 pages, but basically, in a nutshell, it's this. If you believe that all aborted fetuses or even like miscarriages and things like that, if you believe all those unborn fetuses go to hell after they're aborted, then you really don't have a morally perfect, all-knowing, all-powerful God who you should waste your time on because he's a monster. And then if the other situation, if you believe that aborted fetuses all go just to heaven, then perhaps you're wasting your resources. That's probably not such a bad thing. And maybe you should concern yourself with other things. Like, from the Christian point of view, one of those other things might be, well, there are a lot of people that are living that could go to hell. And maybe you should, go after those people and not concern yourself so much with aborted fetuses that are going up to heaven. And use your resources in that way, and then maybe just leave the whole thing alone. And I just wondered your thoughts on this, or if you'd even heard of this article.
Ben, do you want to go first?
You can go first, Richard, because
Okay,
I know you really wanted to.
I wouldn't even. To me, I've not read the article. I'm not familiar with the journal. I'm familiar with Peter Singer. Does a lot of ethical work around veganism and things, and I'm not sure that I would even. I think it's okay. You can make the argument, but I wouldn't even go that far. I would say that we can trace the concept of hell to begin with. So what is even the justification for believing in a hell when we can actually trace how the concept of it developed? And the idea of souls going to heaven is not even a biblical idea. It's a Platonic idea. All the early church, well, not all the early church fathers, some of the early church fathers believed that, took Plato's stance, that God sent a soul down to be in a body, and then when you died, that soul went back up to God. And there were variations on this. Some of them believed it was a repeatable process. Some of them, controversially, even believed that this was a repeating process. And in some of the repetition, Jesus was the bad one and the devil was the good one. This isn't me slagging off Christianity. This is one of the beliefs of some of the early church fathers. These are the people who kind of put Christianity as we have it together today. So there are lots of different ideas. We can see where these ideas came from. My argument wouldn't be, well, if God is evil, he did this, and that he has no justification for doing that. My argument would be, why do you believe in this shit to begin with? Because we can literally see how the idea developed.
Well, if I may, the whole, for me, I don't even need this argument either, because the whole idea of hell, for me, the idea of hell disproves God anyway. I think it's revolting, and I'm one of the things that I'm particularly insulted by with Christians who kind of hold this belief. They kind of think of hell. They couldn't understand what they're talking about when they say that people are going to hell, and in some cases that's a good thing. They can't understand what they mean by that, because you're talking about conscious torment for all of eternity. And that to me is just disgusting, and it calls to mind that the movie Schindler's List, where the train is going off with the Jews and they're going to kill all the Jews, and they zoom in on this little kid who takes his finger and draws it across his throat, because the kid has no idea what he's talking. He has no idea what's going on either, and he's just going off kind of the mob rule there. But I just think for me this particular argument. I'm more of an autonomy person in terms of abortion. I think abortion should be, up to the woman, and the woman takes precedence. She's the one that's having the kid. It's not the other way around. The baby doesn't have the mother. It's the mother has the baby, and she has the right to her own body and things like that. But I do think this is an interesting argument that I think Christians should at least contend with. I think they should look at this and see where that argument leads them. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick correction there. As rather than saying woman, I'd kind of say person with a uterus, because not all pregnant people are women.
That's fair.
But other than that, I think I think we're on the same page. I think we're on the same page on a lot of this, and the bad arguments. They are bad arguments, and there's lots of different ways to challenge them, and that's why we do this show, so people who have these arguments can give us a call and talk to us about them, and let us have those discussions with them. But good points. I'm gonna let you go, Bill. I appreciate your call, and listen, there's no need to be nervous when you're talking to me and Ben ever, because we are the most two idiotic people you'll ever meet in the world.
I mean, I did tell a couple people to shut up, and I yelled a little bit, but I don't do that to everybody.
No,
so.
just me.